Classes with Miss Brookie. Classes so much fun with Miss Brookie. Classes with Miss Brookie.
Hey, 4th graders and 3rd graders, welcome to the art studio at home. If you notice, I keep on wearing hats in these videos, and I just wanted to tell you, some people have been asking me why, and I'll tell you the reason. It's because I don't normally get to wear hats in the art studio. So I thought, I've been kind of down about not going to school, so I'm trying to do something that I normally don't get to do at school every day, just to remind myself that how much I miss Heathwood, but I get to do fun things like wear hats, because we can't wear hats at school, can we? So I'm kind of remembering maybe sometimes eat breakfast or lunch outside, just things that I don't normally get to do every day, just to kind of make myself less sad about not being at Heathwood. Okay, so today we are working on a piece, and every piece is going to look different. We're going to be working on doors, and our doors are going to take us into places that we wish we could be, or that we've been dreaming about, or things that we want, something like that. Okay, so we're going to get together, figure out how to draw a door, and then the fun stuff happens. Okay, let's get creative. Okay, everyone, it's our favorite time. Say it with me. Art materials and art medium time. Okay, so this is what you're going to need. Of course, you're going to need a plain piece of paper. I like to put down, that extra piece of paper that's looking beautiful now, just so I don't get it on my table. And I think your parents would probably appreciate that. We are actually not going to use the pencil until we start drawing inside of our door. You're going to start with a marker. If you have a Sharpie, I would suggest it, and if you're allowed to use it, use that. If not, do that good old washable marker or any kind of pen that you have to do our lines. You're gonna need something to color in with. I'm gonna use colored pencils, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about how to use colored pencils properly in a little bit. If you wanna use markers to color in, that's your choice. If you have oil pastels or anything that you like to do. Our crayons. Well, crayons are gonna be the same thing with this. We're gonna have to talk about that. Next thing you're going to need is a straight edge. I have a ruler. Go find a ruler. Your parents might have a paint stick, a yardstick, something that you can make a straight edge with. You can also use a book or something hard to make that line. Next thing you're going to need is a template, which just means something that's going to help us draw a rectangle. So you don't want to have to focus on making that shape perfectly. We want to focus on the door and the angles. We don't want to have to focus on drawing a perfect rectangle. I'm going to use a couple different things I found that have good rectangles. That's why you see these wonderful tools that I totally use all the time. You're probably like, what are we going to do with tools? We're going to use that as a template. So go gather the materials, go on a hunt, and find a rectangle that you can use. If it's too long, it will not work. And if it's too short, you're not going to have enough room to draw your picture inside. Okay? Go get them, and see you soon. Okay, I hope everyone found all their materials and mediums. Okay, so last time I drew, I used this as a template, and I decided I wanted it to be a little bit longer so I could have more of a view inside the door. And not so much as the room, because that's just empty space. Of course, you can decorate that empty space later, and we'll talk about that. But I wanted more room to draw inside the door. So I went and found this. Now, I realized that there's a bump on the side right here, so I'm going to have to just be cautious when I do a template for this. So, of course, you want this in the middle, so you have equal room, and in the middle of the paper. And all you're doing is tracing that good old rectangle. And you'll see me jump just because I'm going to figure that out, so I just don't want to go back inside and do. Because, little do y'all know, I've already tried this before with this, and I messed it up earlier. So all I'm going to do is move up, see how I'm moving that up, so I can just trace that line. Now, y'all, you should see the outtakes. I showed you a little bit of the outtakes, but there's probably enough to fill, well, it's probably longer than the movie Titanic, guys, the amount of mistakes I make. So that's why it's okay if you make mistakes. And again, we're using a pen for this, so we can't go back and erase. It's easier because when we outline, because we want this to be bold, it's hard to outline your already drawn lines. So that's why we're using a marker to begin with. Okay, so here's the next part. You're going to make your angles go up and down. We're going to try to meet our angle. If we don't at the first, that's okay, and we'll figure it out. So we're just going to make, this is going to create the open door. I'm going to kind of have the same angle on this side. If I don't, that's okay because we can fix it. Now I'm going to use my straight edge, and I notice, whoop, that I did not. It's not going all the way up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make this line. And I'm going to finish up here, try to make it so it meets. I'm glad that I made a mistake so you guys can see how to fix it, because this will happen to you. And it's okay if it does. Look. Voila. No biggie. Now we're going to make the other part of the door. So all we're going to do is we're going to make a straight line. It's the opposite. Since we went down, we're going to go a little up. This is going to be the side of the door. So you don't want it that thick. You want it about just like this. And we're going to go up on this angle too. And again, our good old ruler is going to meet. And if we have to, we can draw it a little bit more. I like to get a little bit over because it's a thicker line with my thicker Sharpie. And wham, bam, we got the side of our door. Now we're going to do, I guess, is it a door jamb? I think that's the technical term. If it's not the technical term, that's okay too, because I am not a home builder or an architect. And you guys will notice that because I've never used these in my whole entire life. It's sad that I've used these just to make a template for a door. But, oh well. So all we're going to do is we're going to take a line, just how we did down here. We're going to make a small angle up. And we're going to come and we're going to use our straight line. And we're going a little bit over. If you notice, I want it to meet, not perfectly right there. It's going to meet right here. Okay, we've got the top of the door jamb. We're going to call it that now. And we're going to come down to this angle next. So all I do is line up my ruler or straight edge or whatever you have. And don't be bogged down about these straight lines. If you don't have those materials at home, guess what? Use a book, or you could try to freehand it. It's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Then I'm just going to close it off. We're going to make our floor now. How we're going to do that is we're going to go all the way across. We're going to come right here from the side to that part of the side of the door, and then we're going to hop and finish off the floor right here. Okay, so we have our door shape. Our next part is we're going to make a door handle on the side door. This can be how you want it. I'm going to make a doorknob. I don't know why. Maybe because it's just, I have doorknobs at my house. You can draw what kind of doors, how you open your door. You might have like a lever, something. I'm going to make a little bit more of a shadow underneath it. And then we're going to use the little locking thing right here again. Totally using technical terms for this. If you know the technical term, please tell me. I'd much appreciate it. Okay, so now is the fun part. Now is the time for you to decorate the inside. First, actually, we're going to color this part of the door, and we're going to talk about that next. Okay, so when we are using color pencils, we want to make sure that we are bearing down hard and filling in all the spaces. It's easier to do, like you can see I'm kind of like just scribbling, and if you color it like that, it's not going to be fully colored in, and it's going to make it kind of look not your best work. So I want you to make sure when you're coloring in with a color pencil, and I have to remind myself all the time because it's actually really, really hard, and it makes your hand kind of hurt after a while, is to make smooth strokes. And if you notice, I'm holding the color pencil to the side instead of up and down. See, up and down, it kind of makes a streaky color. If you do it to the side, it's a lot easier and smoother and easier to fill in. Okay, just remember that as anytime you're ever using a color pencil, okay? It's just something I had to learn and practice with, is that if you want a smooth look to it, to hold it kind of more to the side, to fill in, and to make small strokes, make some smooth strokes instead of wild strokes. Okay, great work. Okay, thank you for listening to my long, I was going to call it diatribe, but a long speech about coloring with colored pencils. Sometimes they're harder to color in than with marker just because you have to have, takes a lot more effort. So if you decide to do marker, that's fine. It's still the same kind of thing. You don't want it to be streaky. Okay, now here's the fun part. It's time to decorate inside. You can choose, I'm not going to even show you how to do this part because you choose how you want to do it. It could be under the sea, it could be in space, it could be a forest like I drew, it could be Heathwood, it could be a pile of money that you want, it could be your favorite place in the world, it could even be your room. Anything for a peek inside of this door. And if you hear that, that is Rocky trying to get into the pantry because he decided he knows how to help himself to lunch. He doesn't need me anymore. He's grown. Okay, so ignore that and start really dreaming up how to make this beautiful inside. Also, you may color in, of course, the floor and the walls. Up to you. You could even do like a picture if you want something right here. Anything, show me. Now, we're going to get back together and I want to be impressed, guys. Let's do this. Okay, guys, we finished that up. Great work. I have a little bit of a plea for you. Now that means I really want to see your work. Third grade, you really stepped up your game and turned in a lot of great work. And I know some of you are struggling trying to figure out how to share it. So again, remember that you can share it on our art page, or you can email it to me, or whatever is easiest for you. I don't know, put it by pigeon, carrier pigeon can send it to me, mail it to me. I'm just kidding, don't do that. Send me your work, okay? Because I really want to put you guys all in the videos, but it's hard if I don't have your work, okay? But some of you, excellent work, okay? And I also want to see the art that you're doing outside of these videos. If you're making something great, like Gabrielle Holland made this really cool thing. She sent it to me. I was super impressed, okay? And I was inspired to make it myself. Great work this week. Show me what you got. Have a great week and see you next time.